Drums are the heart and soul of any musical production. They provide the foundation for your track and play a big role in delivering the emotional intent that you are trying to convey in your track. That is why it is so important to have your drums be front and center in the mix. We can't achieve this unless our drums are mixed in to be punchy and powerful. My name is Daniel with Invatu Tuts, and in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to apply New York compression to any one of your drum tracks to give these drums the weight and power that they need to provide a strong rhythmic element to your track. So let's get into the DAW. New York compression is a form of parallel compression, meaning that there is a dry audio signal playing along with a heavily compressed signal. The goal of this New York compression is to bring out the quieter parts of your mix so they are more audible to the listener without having to completely destroy the dynamic range of your audio. This makes our drums the perfect element for using this parallel compression technique on. We want our drums to be more present and fuller, but still retain the drum's transients. And mixing in a heavily compressed signal with an uncompressed signal will retain these transients. So we have a drum loop here that we are going to apply New York compression to. Let's have a listen to this drum loop. So first, let us set up our two channels, the processed and the unprocessed signal. All we have to do to accomplish this is duplicate our track and then add a compressor to one of them. I'm going to be using Ableton's compressor for this example, but any compressor will do here, as all compressors will have the same basic functions that I will be using. Once again, we want to apply heavy compression to this signal, so let's adjust the compressor settings accordingly. We will start with the compressor ratio. The ratio is the strength of the compressor. Since we know we want this to be strong compression, we will set the ratio to around 10:1. And next, we are going to adjust the attack. Since we want this signal to be heavily compressed and provide more body to our drums, we want the compressor to kick in immediately. So we will have the attack's fastest settings here. And for the Ableton compressor, that is 0.01 milliseconds. Remember, we have a dry signal that is not being compressed and retaining its transients. So reducing the transients in the process signal is okay here. And next, we're going to change the release time to around 60 milliseconds. As we want the compressor to release its grip on the audio just a little bit, so our compression sounds a bit livelier and doesn't completely flatten everything out. Finally, we have the threshold, and we're going to adjust this while listening to the drum loop with the idea of heavily compressing. So let's listen to the drum loop and adjust the threshold. So we have a threshold of around -29 decibels, and we can hear that the compressor is really working hard and clamping down on the audio, which is exactly what we want. Finally, to complete our New York compression, we are going to blend in this compressed signal with our unprocessed signal to achieve thicker sounding drums. Let's go ahead and do this. So adding in our compressed signal gives our drums more body and weight. To hear what this processing has done, let's listen without the compressed signal and then with. Without the compressed signal. And then with. As you can hear, using New York compression to thicken up our drums by blending in a heavily compressed signal gives our drums the power they need for the rhythmic sections of our songs and will leave a lasting impression on the listener.